Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something a bit deeper than usual. We're talking about politics and motorcycles, specifically how former President Donald Trump's tariffs affected the motorcycle industry in the US and around the world. Spoiler alert, the consequences were bigger than most people expected. Politics and motorcycles don't often collide, but when they do, the effects ripple through the entire industry. From the price tag on your favorite bike, to where it's built, and even whether your local dealership can stay open. In this video, we'll break down how a global trade war, sparked by tariffs under the Trump administration, reshaped the motorcycle world in ways most riders never saw coming. You're watching Motor Heaven. Let's get into it. In 2018, the Trump administration initiated a series of tariffs as part of a larger trade war, mostly with China, but also affecting the European Union. The idea was to protect American industries from foreign competition and retaliate against unfair trade practices. One major target was steel and aluminum. A 25% tariff on imported steel and a 10% tariff on aluminum were put in place. That might not sound motorcycle-related at first, but motorcycles are made with a lot of metal, and not just any metal. High-grade, lightweight alloys that are often sourced from overseas. So even though motorcycles weren't the primary target, they got caught in the crossfire. Let's talk about the real impact. Manufacturers like Harley-Davidson were hit hard. Steel and aluminum prices jumped, which increased the cost of production. To maintain profits, manufacturers had two options: raise prices for customers or absorb the cost themselves. Harley chose a third option. They decided to shift some of their production overseas to avoid retaliatory tariffs from the EU, which imposed their own duties on American motorcycles, up to 31% in some cases. That move sparked a political firestorm. Trump even criticized Harley publicly for taking jobs out of America, but the company said it was the only way to stay competitive in the European market, one of their biggest outside the US. For the average rider, these tariffs translated into higher prices on new bikes, especially imported ones. European brands like BMW, Ducati, and KTM became more expensive in the US, and American bikes cost more overseas. Dealerships felt the squeeze too. Inventory moved slower, and some small shops struggled to keep prices reasonable for their customers. It wasn't just about bikes. It also affected parts and accessories, many of which are sourced internationally. Beyond the short-term price hikes, the tariffs created long-term uncertainty in the motorcycle market. Companies were hesitant to invest or expand because they didn't know how trade policies would shift. It also strained relationships with international suppliers and partners. Motorcycles are a global business. A bike might be designed in Italy, use parts from Japan, assembled in Thailand, and sold in the US. Any disruption in trade affects the whole chain. So what do we take away from all this? Tariffs, in theory, are designed to protect local industries. But in practice, especially in an industry as globalized as motorcycles, the outcome isn't always so clear-cut. What started as a political move to strengthen American manufacturing ended up creating challenges for companies, dealers, and riders alike. Harley-Davidson had to shift production overseas to survive in foreign markets. European brands faced massive price hikes in the US. Parts suppliers, custom builders, and even local mechanics felt the effects as the cost of materials went up and supply chains got disrupted. And the rider, you and me, ended up paying more at the dealership, with fewer options and slower release cycles for new models. This wasn't just a Harley problem or a European bike problem. It was a ripple that moved through the entire ecosystem, from steel mills to showrooms. Now, years later, some of those tariffs have been lifted or softened, but the aftershocks are still being felt. It's a powerful reminder that when governments make economic decisions, real people and real communities are affected, including those of us who just want to ride. So the next time you look at the price tag on a bike or wonder why a certain model isn't available in your region, there might be a trade war behind the scenes you didn't even know about. If you learned something from this video, or if you've personally seen how these tariffs have impacted your riding experience, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going. And as always, if you found value here, hit that like button, subscribe for more motorcycle content, and share this video with someone who needs to see it. Thanks for watching. Ride safe and stay informed.